All right, Seth, we were just talking about that. The first four in. Did they ever think about having 16s play against one another?
Yeah, well, of course, you have two games with the 16s against each other and two with the at-larges. Let me just say one small correction. There's no predetermined designation for what seed number you are. This is actually very unusual. It's almost always for 11 seeds.
Okay.
We actually were talking about this in the studio going into the selection show, because I saw some of the mock brackets had like the last four in as 10 seeds. And the reason is we had five. We actually thought it was going to be four bid thieves, right? These are teams like a Duquesne. So Dayton was going to be in regardless. So if Dayton won the Atlantic 10 is a one bid league, because Duquesne won the Atlantic 10. Now there's two teams from the A10, and Duquesne would not have been an at-large. So Duquesne is a bid thief. Last year, there was one bid thief. Year before, there were two, which forces the committee to scramble. This year, there were five. That never happens. So there's two implications for that. First of all, although the first five teams that were out, the first teams out, St. John's and Seton Hall and all these teams, Pittsburgh complaining about not getting in, they would have been in, but for these bid thieves. And then the other thing is, Duquesne may win the Atlantic 10, but that doesn't mean they're going in as a 7 seed. They're going to be seeded according to their overall body of work, which was where it ended up on I believe, the 11 line. So that bumped up the last four into 10 seeds. So I'm a bracket nerd, but basically, there's this conversation because, Dan, this tournament's going to expand. Whether we like it or not, it's going to expand. They're going to add games to Tuesday and Wednesday. My guess is this could be the last tournament at this size. If it doesn't happen next year, it's going to happen soon. So they're probably going to add 8 teams, and they're just going to add games to Tuesday and Wednesday. That's it. They're not going to 96. And so there's this conversation of, well, do you put in, well, that should go to the power conference last at-large teams because we want, the mid-majors to be able to get in. The problem is that means that all those power conference teams that come from big markets, big brands that fans actually want to watch, I mean, everyone wants to watch everything, they're out of the tournament before Thursday starts. So this was the compromise at having two games with the 16s and two games with the at-larges. And let me just add one more thing. Every time a team plays in the NCAA tournament, it gets a unit. It's like a unit for its league. It's like $1 million. And it's paid out over, I think, 6 years through the conference. So if you're in the first four and you win, that means you get 2 units. So these 16 seeds for them, that's a nice little chunk of change that the winner's going to get.